What is happening? Awesome to be back. Took a few days off there. Headed back to Fort Wayne, Indiana. I'm going to give you a little update on my trip back. Also, going to give a quick update on my interview with Sam Crowley. You talk about a lot of fun. Boy, oh boy. Man, that guy, something else. But we'll get into that here in just a second. Awesome news right out the rip. Got some more reviews from iTunes for you. What is up? Holla at this one. My man, Zigger Boy. Coming, keep it coming, buddy. Big shout out from Minnesota. Great podcast. 5-star rating. Love it. Man, dude, thank you so much from Minnesota. I tell you what, I've been to Minnesota a long time ago. It's cold up there, my friends. It's definitely cold, but what a beautiful city or state. I went to Minneapolis just once, a long time ago, but awesome city, awesome place. I've heard wonderful things about the area. So thank you for the love. Thank you for the shout out. Not just a podcast. This is a way of life by Merc 00. Very inspirational and amazing perspective on living a positive life. If you need a dose of positivity and a new outlook on life, then this podcast is for you. Man, I tell you what, it kind of gives me chills. Just the love we're getting and the momentum this podcast has got going. Thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the 5-star review. And hey, if you're gonna put a 5-star review out there, do it for me. Throw it on the iTunes. I'll read it on air. But I'm telling you what, I'm not just saying it really means a lot to get those 5-star ratings. Not only just for it helps you get the word out, it's easier to find on iTunes that way, but more importantly, I tell you what, it just makes me feel awesome. I mean, it's just awesome. So thank you so much for all the people who have done it. They're adding up pretty doggone quick, but let's jump right into it. Thursday, we left Fort Wayne and met up with Sam Crowley at a park outside of Loveland, Ohio. Let the kids run around. It was awesome. They needed to get out after being in the car for 5 hours. And I'll tell you what, one thing I took away from Sam Crowley, well, a couple things. And the biggest thing for me, let's just start with the biggest thing for me, was the authenticity of who you hear in his podcast is who he is in real life. There's no difference. I mean, that's the guy that I went to meet. That's the guy I'm working with. That's my mentor. I'm trying to take this podcast to the places that he's already been. But I'm telling you what, it was just awesome. And what it really did, and this isn't a cheap shot at Sam, I believe that. But Sam's just an average dude. He's just an average dude. And he's not, I don't know how to explain it. Sometimes you see these, Hollywood stars, sunglasses, rolling up in brand new sports cars and all that stuff. That's not this guy. This guy is authentic, real. And what that tells me is if he can do that, I can do it. And if I can do it, believe me, if you're even thinking about stepping out and doing something different in your life, you can do it. Because there's nothing you just have to eventually just step out and do something, change your life and do something different. And that's really what we're trying to do with this. We're trying to continue the positivity for the positive side. I haven't been doing this podcast for that long, so I got a lot of new people tuned in since we did the Sam Crowley one. I appreciate all the love on that. A lot of downloads. We've got thousands and thousands and thousands of downloads now, so that's means a ton. And I want to get into a little bit after we left Cincinnati or the Loveland, Ohio area. We headed back to Fort Wayne. Got to hang out with a lot of good friends. It's crazy when you go back to the town. I've been gone 8 months, and it does several things to me. The first thing it does is it makes you miss a lot of the friends you had. A lot of the friends, a lot of the family you don't get to see. And we were very fortunate. We had a ton of friends, a ton of family. So I had I was running around with chicken my head cut off. I didn't want to, upset anybody. Everybody wanted to see the kids. I had to spend a certain amount of time here, a certain amount of time there. So that was a little stressful on my end. But also, it's weird going back to town. There was a couple people. My uncle passed away early last week. So I got to talk to my dad, my stepmom about him a little bit. I'd say that guy lived a life. If you're talking about living a life, we call him the oldest living hippie. He just loved life every single day. Burned the left-handed cigarettes. Didn't have a care in the world. Nothing got him upset. I mean, he lived his unstressful life till, I don't know how old he was. I mean, he had to be 80-something. But so we're definitely going to miss him. Then I had a tragedy. I had a buddy I went to high school with. He got shot and killed, which is just awesome. I mean, awful. When I heard that, it just crushed me because the guy's the nicest guy around. But what that... again, it does several different things. You're beat down by hearing something like that. That's no fun. But at the same time, I went back to my buddy's house. I know him and his family were going to be there. I haven't seen him in probably 10 years. stop, pay my respect, pay my love for them. So, the weekend is just ups and downs. It's just between seeing friends and family that are, that are hurting, that are so happy to see me. We had a good time. We did my golf tournament. We raised thousands and thousands of dollars out there in my golf tournament. So obviously all good all weekend long. But what I want to kind of lead this into, it was almost like for me and what I was feeling, because when I left, I quit my job, didn't have any idea what I was going to do, moved down here, but I knew I had to start over. I knew I wanted something different in my life. I had to hit that reset button. And I'd encourage you, if you haven't ever hit the reset button in your life, it's not something you run out and do tomorrow. Don't do that. But start thinking about it. I thought about this for years and years and years, to move out of that old town and move somewhere else and experience a different side of life, different area, different people, different sights, sounds, everything. But, when you step out of that and you reset yourself, I did that, came down here, and it was a shock to the system. Because, sometimes when people say, well, it's just, it's easy, all you gotta do is do that. It's not the easiest thing in the world. I'm not going to try and BS you. It's definitely not the easiest thing in the world, but there's something happens to you when you just basically start over. You hit that reset button. So I moved down here, a little bit of, I don't want to say it's a bad shock to the system. I don't want to say that, but it's just everything's completely different. You don't know anybody. You don't know street names. You don't know how to get there. You don't get here or get there, whatever the case is. I used to go to the grocery store, and it's inevitable, I'm going to know someone at the grocery store. If I go to a restaurant, I'm going to know somebody there. I mean, it was a big, small town. Everyone knew everyone. So you come down here, and it's just the strangest thing. It's everyone's brand new. I've never met I don't know anybody. So it's interesting when you walk around and do things like this. I'm kind of going off on a tangent a little bit, but starting over and going to some place where everything is completely fresh and brand new. So I had the opportunity, obviously, to go back to Fort Wayne. I had my chance to really, it was almost like a goodbye of sorts. It was kind of like an update. I heard you moved here. I heard you moved there. So everyone that I've known for years and years and years, now everyone for sure 100% knows that I'm out of there and I'm not coming back. I'll come back for visit, obviously, but I think it's so important to get out of that comfort zone and try something new and live your life. And that's really, when I went there, it reinforced that to me. This is why. I mean, no downside of where I was and what I was doing. There's a ton of great family, a ton of great friends. I had a blast. I mean, I tell you what, I've never laughed so hard in my life at this golf tournament that we helped put on. It was one of the best days I've ever had ever. It was awesome. But at the same time, I was ready to get back home and get back on this podcast, get back on this new life, this new way of life, this new thought pattern, this new feelings, new adventures, new people. Because that right there, it's almost like I went to one place and conquered that area. And I know conquered's a bad word, but I went there, I was extremely comfortable, knew everybody, did everything. I was in my comfort zone 100% for sure. Had a great job, great family, great friends. But when something happens, when you decide in your mind, and I decided, like I said, years ago, it wasn't something I just made up one day and I said, boom, I'm out of here. I thought about it for a long time. But when you make that decision, it's almost like you're refreshed in life. It's almost like you have, I guess I don't know how, if you haven't done it, it's hard to explain what that feeling truly is. So, I guess moral of the story is, if you are feeling stuck in life, let's get out of it. I mean, the beginning of this podcast is helping people get unstuck in life. Let's get unstuck in life. Let's do something different with our life. Let's move on. Let's get a new job. Let's move to a different area. If you're, for me, I was up in Fort Wayne, Indiana, where it's cold all the doggone time. I couldn't stand the weather. It was brutal. I think there's like that mental illness where weather truly affects somebody. It 100% affected me. There's no question about it. But if you don't have to be anywhere. If you're down in Florida and it's too hot, move up north. You don't have to be there forever. But you have to take steps towards getting there. If you never take steps, don't complain. I've never understood that people are like, well, I'm just doing the regular 9 to 5. I can't stand my job. Well, do something about it. You don't have to stay there. No one's got a gun to your head and says you have to go do this 9 to 5, or you have to go work with these people you can't stand. You got to live in this house you don't like. Go do something about it. Quit telling the story. Quit writing the book. Well, as we mentioned a couple other days or a couple podcasts ago, that what's the rest of the book of your life going to be about? If it's a boring story and the chapters are brutal, change it. Do something different. I'm telling you, when I moved down here, that's a whole new chapter of my life. And not too many people out there can have that and talk about that. You know, what it's like. What's the feelings like? What do you do? Where do you live? These are all new experiences. I think it does something to the mental makeup of you. I think it makes you stronger. It makes you more willing to fight over adversity. It makes you more accepting because you get to meet so many other different types of people in different situations and neighborhoods. So with all the things that I've done this past weekend, with the drive, the meeting with Sam Crowley, hanging out with him, and that's inspiring in itself because he's what I thought he was. So it reinforced to me that I'm glad I'm doing what I'm doing. But not just that. The ups and downs, the passing away of my buddy and my uncle. So seeing the downside, seeing the extreme high side of hanging out with friends and family I haven't seen in a long time. The different stories. How are your kids? It was just it was a wonderful weekend filled with ups and downs. And the great thing about it is I leave it there and I come here and get refocused on the podcast and this business. Speaking of getting refocused, if you can tell, on my YouTube channel, brand new lighting. The lighting is finally here. It's up. So shout out to my buddy Ozzy in the UK. And real quick on the UK, man. My heart's prayers go out to all those people in the UK. It's terrible. I've tried to cut out all the news updates, and when something like that happens in the UK, boy, I don't even want to get into it. It's terrible, but thoughts and prayers with everybody there. Ozzy, my man, thoughts and prayers with you. But he's the reason I got this lighting. We got the program that I've talked about on several episodes. The Freedom Lighter is going to be coming out soon. Lights, got the whiteboard. I've told you I'm going to do that. So this bad boy is going to start worked on this week. Hopefully I can have some answers out next week. With editing, Ozzy, help me out with that. But exciting times, new adventures, new journeys, new friends, new family. Great time in Indiana. It's time to move on. Check out the website, jeremytodd.com. Get on that Monday morning mailing list. It's going to get better. I got lighting now. It's going to get better. It's going to look better at least, right? But I got some good messages out there. I'm trying to help out a lot of people. I enjoy it. I love it. I love what I'm doing. I hope you love what you're doing, and I hope you love the positive side. This is Jeremy Todd, and again, this is the positive side.